New documents uncovered by Team 10 outline the last days of a toddler who died in foster care. Our Team 10 investigator Adam Rakusan's been following this story of Tyler Walter for the past 2 years. He took the county to court to get answers about what happened.
It's February 25th, 2021. Tyler James Walter should be 4 years and 3 months old. Instead of playing with his friends at the park, he died at this park in Long Beach at only 22 months old.
And the victim here was a baby, and the price he paid was his life.
Shawn McMillan is an attorney for Tyler's mom. She sued the county of San Diego and several social workers, claiming wrongful death and failure to provide minimally adequate care and ensure his continued safety, among other things. The lawsuit asks for no less than $5 million for the loss of her son. Her lawsuit claims it took just 3 months in San Diego County's care for Tyler to turn from a happy and healthy toddler into a dead one.
It's really the government's complete and total failure to do what they were supposed to do for this child.
San Diego County won't comment on the claim, saying there's an active lawsuit. In their response to the court, the county wrote in part, "The 14th Amendment does not guarantee that individuals in the county's care be constitutionally protected from all harm sustained while under their care."
Yeah.
Team 10 uncovered the toddler's death back in 2018. Since then, the county has not commented on any of the facts surrounding his death. So, to try to get to the bottom of what happened, in February of 2020, Team 10 took the county to court, asking they release all of the child's court and social worker files. A judge agreed, and we got around 700 pages of documents. Here's what they showed. In June of 2018, Tyler was taken away from his mother after a search of her house uncovered drugs. She was arrested. Tyler was placed in protective custody, and social workers petitioned the juvenile court to begin dependency proceedings. About a month later, Tyler was placed with his mother's 19-year-old relative, who lived in Long Beach. A move child advocate experts have questioned.
You favor relatives. Statutorily, we want to favor relatives, and we do. But usually we're talking about grandparents or uncles or aunts or sisters or brothers.
We're not naming Tyler's foster parent because she hasn't been accused of anything. Court records say, although Tyler's mother requested he be left with his grandmother, social workers placed him in protective custody. With Tyler's grandmother not given the placement, court records say his mother told social workers she'd like Tyler to be placed with her relative. She said that she does worry she's young, but believes she'll provide good care for Tyler. The court records show an emergency placement was approved, and a few days later Tyler was in Long Beach. That was at the end of July. The records don't go into detail about how the court ultimately made its decision to okay a placement with a teenager, but do show there's clear and convincing evidence the child should be removed from the custody of the mother, and the court finds there is a relative who is able and willing to care for the child. According to the social worker records provided to Team 10, staff made announced visits to the foster home and kept in telephone contact with the approved foster parent. In the 2 weeks leading up to his death, the documents show visits to the doctor and issues with Tyler's health insurance. Then, the day before Tyler died, information shows a social worker was at the house in Long Beach for an announced visit. The social worker noticed a small dime-sized bruise on his left cheekbone, as well as a small scrape next to the bruise. Tyler's caregiver explained he'd been pushed off of a tricycle by some other kids at the house. They talked about other things, toured the house, nothing seemed off, and that was the end of the visit. The next day, Tyler died, 2 months after moving to Long Beach. An autopsy said the cause of death was blunt head trauma, but the manner of death was undetermined.
Looking over the documents that you shared with me, frankly, it raises more questions and important questions than it actually answers.
Team 10 shared about 200 pages of the documents we received with Jessica Heldman. She's a professor in residence in child's rights at the University of San Diego.
It seems like requirements for visits were met by the San Diego County workers, but there's still questions about, whether, given some of the considerations about the caregiver, her age, and so on, whether additional visits might have been valuable.
Here's something the records show. After Tyler died, police discovered his foster parent had not been living at the pre-approved home. She and her girlfriend had a falling out with the homeowner and were asked to leave. That happened a few days before the final social worker visit. There's also questions about Los Angeles County's role. Experts say state law requires if a child is placed in another county, that county needs to know about it. The two counties will decide who will be responsible for care, assessments, and monitoring moving forward. Records show LA County was notified a child from San Diego County would be placed in LA County. Based on the court documents Team 10 received, it's unclear what communication the two counties had in the months after his placement. Team 10 asked LA County for more information, but a spokesperson for the Department of Child and Family Services said confidentiality laws prohibit them from providing case-specific information. So, while there's hundreds of pages of paper that give a snapshot into Tyler's mom, her family, and the early parts of his life, what led to his death, there's no easy answer. Adam Merkusen, ABC 10 News.
The county tried to get that lawsuit filed against them thrown out. A judge said it could move forward. The county appealed that decision and are waiting to hear from the appeals court.